Hello, and welcome to this edition of Intelligent Video Today. I'm your host, Steve Von Hart. Join us on today's episode, Ruud van der Linden, CEO over at Lont. Welcome, Ruud.
Thank you, Steve. It's great to be here.
Thanks for joining us today. Interested to learn a little bit more about Lont. How long have you folks been around, and how are you positioning the company today?
So we started in 2023. We started in media entertainment because we tried to solve the variance problem. For example, Disney movies tend to have dozens of versions in multiple languages, where, for example, the Spanish version for Latin America and the Spanish version from Spain, that would actually be two different versions, where there would be visual elements where you can actually see a Spanish language text instead of the English language text. So creating all of these versions is inefficient. So, for example, the Disney Plus platform stores every variant as a whole movie. So they have the same movie dozens of times on the platform. And then depending on your user interface language, you will get a different version of a movie. So we thought like, okay, it's a pretty significant problem. And it may also actually be the reason why in this year, right now, 2025, personalized video is still not a big thing because it is just too hard. So what did we do? We pitched a project. So together with Bruce Devlin, um, uh, who some of the viewers may know, we pitched a project at the IBC Accelerator. It was called the Responsive Narrative Factory. And what we did was we created this platform where, just like the IMF standard, which allows you to easily create multiple variants during production, we tried to kind of replicate that on the streaming side, so that instead of having dozens of different versions on a platform like Disney Plus, we would just swap out the streaming segments like CMAV, HLS dash, depending on like, is there something in another language shown in this segment? So we built that project. We got the BBC to join. So we had this use case where you had a nature documentary. You could say like, I'm interested in that bird, not in that bird. You would get a personalized version of that documentary, and you could turn off gore. So if there was a predator eating, there was a predator eating a little bird in that documentary. We gave you a checkbox to turn that off, so that people who are usually uncomfortable watching this type of content would now be able to watch safely. Um, so this would also allow stuff like, hey, I can watch the R-rated version, but also the PG-13 version, because we just swap out certain segments. We give people the option to choose their experience and to personalize that. So it was a really good project, and we won Project of the Year award. But then when we tried to go and implement it, it's just impossible to do that with so many moving parts. It goes back all the way from script writing to shooting to editing to creating the master to distribution and to the different streaming platforms. And basically every point along the way needs to support it. So it was an interesting journey, and we had very interesting discussions with a lot of people from various parts of the industry. But we pivoted. So our next big use case became medicine explainer videos. So when it comes to medicine explainer content, these are usually created for vulnerable populations that are looking for more information about how to take their meds. And there's only so many different side effects. There's only so many different reasons for taking the medicines, and there's only so many different interactions. So we basically built this database to video system. Um, there's also an Excel to video variant, by the way, which is similar, where we basically take text as an input and used both text to speech and text to video, which could be animated video using Blender, but it could also be like an avatar video using one of the services out there that do that. So what we set up is a system that grabs text from the database, turns it in a video, and then populates those segments in our dynamic video platform. And then once you need information about a specific medicine for a specific reason, you're taking a specific form factor. So it could be like a powder you dissolve in water, or it could be a pill. Depending on all that, a kind of an EDL or playlist will be constructed and then played back for the user, uh, yeah, in real time.
So
So
literally you're creating personalized videos by marrying the power of a video platform with input from databases and pulling information that's relevant to individuals for their particular, in this case, the medicines that they're taking. What other ways do you see that this technology can be used in the enterprise, leveraging the database to create videos?
yeah, so leveraging a database to create videos specifically, it's really this type of use case. Use cases where you have a lot of text and maybe also some images, some video segments that you would then basically structured data that you want to turn into video. So it could be knowledge bases, it could be product databases, all kinds of uh, uh, um, materials, basically.
Yeah, so
So
you're already doing this with the pharmaceutical industry. Do you see other industries getting involved in automating the production of video in this fashion?
it's interesting that you ask that. We believe that actually the database to video use case is going to be the biggest. So the customer that we're working with, it's a Dutch company called Care Animations. They were very familiar with the power of structured data, but we see that in various industries, this is new for a lot of people. And so what we've seen is more use cases where there's actually creative agency creating contents that we then automate within our platform. So, for example, for Alliance, the insurance company, we are creating customer experience or customer UX workflows where depending on like if you requested a quote from the company, if you just signed your quote, or if your insurance is about to renew, you will get a video that then explains to you the benefits of the medicine the benefits of the insurance,
Right.
and kind of tries to um, fortify like the brand and the reasons why you should get that insurance. So what we want to do there is turn text into video again, so that instead of an email with a wall of text, you'd get a video where you can quickly you understand like the benefits of your insurance. You see the brand again. You see a brand ambassador. So instead of that boring email, which has some specific information in it about your insurance, you'll now see a video. So previously, it would be very hard to do this because for all of the different combinations, you would manually need to create different videos. But with the Launch platform, uh, we basically automate all of
Yeah.
that. And
Now,
in this case, what the interesting thing is, like we're combining a regular production, which an agency does, with AI elements using, for example, text to speech, but also text and image overlays to to in an automated fashion create like dozens or hundreds of extra versions of a video.
right. And so often I talk with vendors in this space, and they seem to have aspirations of developing a general purpose AI video production platform. But as a startup, you really have a focus on some very specific use cases. Talk, if you can, a
Yeah.
little bit about how and why it makes sense to really silo yourself into a specific use case category.
So two things here. So we think it's very important to create a platform where you can create large volumes of videos, because that's the next frontier basically. So a lot of these general purpose models are very interesting, but they require a lot of human involvement. They require a human to check if a certain version looks good, if there's like uh, kind of visual hallucinations or aberrations in the picture. So what we wanted to do is build a platform where you basically create a template for every scene, and you deterministically decide what happens in that scene. So that was very important for us because that is needed to get scale. Because like Gen AI has basically shown to the world how creativity can be scaled. However, that scale is not really reliable. And for that reason, we need to kind of build these smart guardrails that let AI personalize or change or modify elements and like not the whole thing, because most brands are definitely not comfortable with that. They're not comfortable with a messaging that they haven't seen, even if you have a prompt that kind of has some stuff in it like don't do this, don't do that. No, they need to be sure what is in there or not. So and starting off with these silos allows us to explore what customers are comfortable with, where they see value, and then focus on that, focus on one thing. And also, important, focus on workflow. Because while the year is 2025, like I said, there's still not a lot of personalized video out there. And a reason for that is that personalizing video is really hard. So with one customer, we are working with 5 different departments. We are working with an external creative agency, with an external marketing agency. We're working with a team in one country, a team in another country, and everybody needs to work together. And most of the people haven't met each other before. So we suspect that the reason why personalized video hasn't really taken off is not the technology, although the technology is hard. Scaling video to really large numbers is hard for a number of reasons. But if even if like people know that personalization is winning, is a winning strategy, video is a winning strategy, we're still not seeing that. Why is that? It is very, very painful to create these personalized videos because so many people need to work together to ensure a deterministic output. And then that's one of the reasons why we don't see a lot of AI here as well, because AI is just like an extra unknown factor that every team needs to deal with. So what we're doing is building workflows where like the creative team can create the creative parts of a video, then request data fields from the data team. While the data team is still working on connecting them from various sources, which could be a CRM, it could be like external APIs. Um, while they're working on that, Gen AI will create mock values that only the creative team sees, and that allows them to keep creating their creative. And like, for example, if you use a name in the video, you will see a short name. There will also be a long name so that they can see like, does it still look good in all these different variations. In the meantime, the data team can do their thing and connect those actual data points in the background. And this way, kind of the system makes sure that everything keeps rolling. Nobody is blocking anybody else. And that is really our goal. And siloing or focusing on specific verticals ensures that we're not trying to build everything all at the same time, but we can actually do it, yeah, one by one.
One of the knocks on automated video has always been that they can maybe not exactly look natural, or they might be a little bit stilted. What tricks of the trade can you share with folks as they're using automated video? How can they make it look and feel more authentic when they're trying to engage with customers? Can you structure these videos in a way where they don't look so robotic and canned?
Um, so sometimes the answer is don't try. Just give the user the information that they're looking for. They're not looking for to have a whole chat with us with an AI. They just want whatever they came from and then go on their merry way. So sometimes, like when it comes to customer service, um, just give them the answer they're looking for. Um, or just give them control over the whole experience. So one of the things we've done is build a specific video player for this. It's called the Skip player, and this player allows you to quickly skip through segments. So AI or a human building the video experience knows um, where every topic or segment begins and ends. So with that knowledge, the video player, once you tap the right side of the screen, will just hop or skip to the next part of the video, just like you would skip in an Instagram story or a WhatsApp story. So, so the goal is not to build something where you're trying to mimic a human. You're just trying to give the customer what they need make the customer happy, not build this synthetic experience necessarily. Now, of course, there can be cases, so like the project we're doing for Alliance, where you're welcomed to your new insurance, where they have an actual brand ambassador, but they chose to have a real human there. A real human where like some of the things that he says are actually generated by AI, by cloning his voice. Um, but they went for a real human. So the answer there to your original question. So our philosophy is really like make the user happy, but there may be other ways to get to a user experience where users are really happy um, with a synthetic human that is not robotic or can, but it may be some ways off because, I mean, as humans, we've evolved to notice when something is off when communicating with another human, and kind of replicating all of those like micro expressions and everything may be possible using AI. It's probably possible,
Yeah.
but it may take a while before we're actually there. So for now, we are still like focusing on that workflows, focusing on getting users the information they want as quickly as possible, and yeah,
Yeah,
purely that.
you talk about getting information as quickly as possible. Also, you're able to, through this type of approach, update videos on a regular
Yeah.
basis. Tell us how that can happen and why is that important to an enterprise user.
Yeah, so we had a customer go through a rebranding recently. So they had their logo on hundreds, I think like a high, yeah, 800 or so videos. Yeah, and they needed to change that. Yeah, this was before those videos were created with Lont. So with Lont, you basically, it's like updating a website. You just swap your logo and then your logo is the same on every page. So why don't we have that with video? So yeah, so we built so on the Launch platform you can actually do that. There's a logo asset that will be loaded for every video, and once you change it, it's instantly changed everywhere. And
Very
the same happens for actual content. So the medicine explainer content that I mentioned before, if something changes there, um, something changes in the underlying database that is being used, we will see that that field has changed. We'll automatically push it through the whole workflow again, text to speech, and then to video, and we'll update that segment.
literally, as long as you're connected to an updated database, your videos are evergreen and you don't have to go and reproduce them again and again. And that has to be a
Yeah,
cost saving to organizations over time. So tell us a
yeah.
little bit about the near term product roadmap for Lot. What's coming our way in the balance of 2025?
So So we are mainly focusing on workflow related things. We're really focusing on making it easy to make small changes really quickly and predictably. So funny enough, we are not working on integrating the latest video gen model that lets you create a new video using a prompt. We are focusing on things that our customers actually need, and these customers need predictable outputs. So we are experimenting with Gen AI in the background. It is just not something that customers are yet comfortable using. But of course, once the time is there, we can use any of the data fields or any of the data that the customer has in a prompt so that we, in an automated fashion, once AI is controllable, predictable enough, we can instantly leverage all that data in Gen AI. And the beauty of it is it's usually just an API where I send off a prompt to the service and then I get a text, an image, a video, audio back. And we don't need to build the whole thing. We can just talk to one of the APIs and then we will have that innovation. But for now, our focus is really on letting teams work together more quickly and more efficiently so that more people and more teams will start creating personalized video.
Yeah, you got to make it easy for them, and it all starts with the workflow, and that's going to be the near term focus. But take a step back,
Exactly.
take us down the road 3 to 5 years. What big trends do you see coming in automated AI video creation over the long haul?
So a couple of things. So you're talking like the industry in general, or are you
Yeah,
talking
just
like what we're doing?
in terms of what exciting things should we be focusing on? Is it going to be more of this database driven automated video creation capabilities taken to the nth degree, or what big things are getting you excited about where this all can take us over the next 5 years or so?
So it seems like the industry is moving to create models that are in a way multimodal themselves. So where you can input a script, you will get a video, you will get consistent characters, you will get lip synced speech. Kind of like you've seen GPT launch the 4.0 model, which is both image, voice, and text based. So it seems like video models are going into the direction where they are kind of like that as well. So they'll become more intelligent. So that's where I see the industry as a whole go. What I do expect though is that that last 10 or 20% of like getting like really nailing it will take a long time because that is really hard. Like getting the first 90%, those are relatively easy. And the last 10%, like actually creating a movie is still like many years off. The question is, so how can we leverage AI today? And we've seen, I think in the past, like it is really hard to predict where the industry is going. And because it's not just technology, right? Technology is going in a direction, but then like the technology has a cost per prompt, and it also has applications. Um, it's hard to predict the whole, so that's why I try
That's why you're focused on
keeping in my lane.
Yeah, that's why you're focused on siloed applications and solving specific problems for end
Yeah,
users. That you can control. We'll worry about the bigger universe later. So let's just leverage video platforms, video workflows to solve problems right now, and we'll
yeah,
get it done over time. So,
exactly,
Ruud,
and not just video workflows, right? But also data. We need to have like but we make sure that we have a lot of data, that it's easy for customers to connect those data sources to our platform so that we are already start seeing patterns and start learning, for example, what users engage with. So that when the time is right, we can kind of start plugging in these more advanced models in a cost effective way, because that's another really big topic. If you're personalizing video, you cannot generate one video per person because campaigns would be extremely expensive. So we're really laying the groundwork for when that time comes, that future time, 3 to 5 years, we'll be ready to fully capitalize on it.
well, it'll be exciting times ahead, and we'll be excited to watch Lont's progress throughout all this. Ruud van der Linden, the CEO of
Awesome.
Lont, thanks so much for taking the time for visiting with us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Steve. Really enjoyed it. Thanks.
And we thank you for taking the time to watch today's episode. If you want to get more insight from industry thought leaders like Ruud van der Linden of Lont, just go to the link on YouTube for Intelligent Video Today. Subscribe to the channel and you'll get notifications to future episodes of our interview series. For Intelligent Video Today and IntelliVid Research, I'm Steve Vonderhaar. Thanks for your time.